My name is Sergeant Byers, and today I will be giving a class on developing resiliency in the squad. The classification for this training is unclassified. So what is the purpose of the Mastering Resiliency Training, or MRT class? Mastering Resilience Training is governed by Army Regulation 350-53. According to that Army regulation, resiliency is the mental, physical, emotional, and behavioral ability of the soldier to face and cope with adversity, adapt to change, recover, learn, and grow from setbacks. So what does this mean to us as soldiers? Well, simply put, it means is the ability of the soldier to utilize tools provided by this class to deal with conditions such as stress and other challenges that we face within our work environment. What happens when soldiers have low resiliency or high stress levels? Well, simple complications include the instance where a soldier can have a low state of morale, which can cause the soldier to be in or unable to complete their daily tasks to get the mission accomplished, cause incidences to occur with other soldiers, or other issues in which missions will not be getting done and can affect their readiness. On the higher issues include soldiers not wanting to stay within the Army and overall decreasing the overall retention rate of soldiers, which then cause other stress levels upon soldiers that do stay behind, and as the biggest and worst case scenario, cause the soldiers to potentially commit suicide. As you can see, I have gathered a list of statistics regarding suicide rates over the past 6 years, with last year being at 24.8 for 100,000 soldiers. And as you can see, over the past 6 years, overall, the total number of suicide rate percentage has actually increased. As these measurements are out of 100,000 soldiers, though, this percentage is well below 1%. Alright, so what are some common triggers that can decrease resiliency or morale within soldiers? Simplest one that soldiers we encounter on a daily basis are soldiers getting in trouble, whether it be something small as a 4856 counseling statement, or something more strenuous, such as a Article 15, any type of UCMJ action that could potentially lead to a soldier getting dismissed from the Army. Outside factors might include any issues the soldier is experiencing at home, whether it be with family members, close friends, or other factors such as their children, or just people who are close to them at home, in which some cases can even go as far as to include a person's death who was close to that soldier and other such factors. Is current training in mastering resiliency overall effective? When it's done correctly, yes, it is. This is shown by the fact that, like I was saying, the overall suicide rate is very well below 1%. However, as it still does occur, and we still have instances where soldiers are committing suicide, obviously there are some problems with the training that can be addressed, such as it not happening often enough. In the few instances where it is done, it potentially isn't being taken as seriously as it should have, such as whether that be the instructor giving the course or the soldiers who are receiving it, as most often master resiliency training courses are conducted in a very much light-hearted atmosphere, as some of the topics that can arise through this training are very somber and can also be not something that soldiers like to talk about. So usually this light-hearted atmosphere is given to try to increase participation and overall keep the atmosphere light and make soldiers actually enjoy this training. Another thing that after soldiers have received this training is that as leaders, often people are not given the proper time to decompress and utilize the skills given to them by the Master Resiliency course in order for them to actually effectively reduce their stress levels enough or get it to the point where their stress isn't continuing to grow to get the mission accomplished without potentially allowing adverse effects to occur. On that note, so why do soldiers still have experience and continue to struggle after a triggering event with resiliency? Well, a lot of it comes from the different aspects that cause stress or that prevent soldiers from allowing this stress to dissipate and reduce itself. The simplest factor that is the main difference between the military and civilian side is the end of our actual responsibility after our work is complete. So as soldiers, our responsibility is 24/7 until our contract is entirely up. What that means is that consistently, that responsibility is always on our soldiers, whether it be to the mission or the soldiers put under our command. On the civilian side, for most people, that responsibility ends as soon as they leave work and doesn't come back until after they get back to work the next day. But as I said, with soldiers, that responsibility doesn't go away, and so that stress can continue to build and build until that soldier can take a chance to either go on leave or until they get out. As leaders, this aspect that causes undue stress comes really from an undue amount of pressure that can come from leadership, whether it's our leaders providing unrealistic goals and expectations, or ensuring that we have a never-ending list of tasks completed. As soldiers, this doesn't just stop at the number of tasks we have to do just for completing our mission on a day-to-day basis. This also includes other tasks that are military specific, such as ensuring that things like our medcos are up to date, or completing our training similar to this, or even getting scheduled or conducting classes such as BLC, field sanitation, range safety, or other such military courses that are required if we are to advance our career within the military, or even something as simple as online correspondence courses. This combined with the need to still maintain a social life or develop that social life, combined with preparing for life after the military, since the majority of people who come into the military are fresh out of high school, and by the time they finish, they're still able to completely start a whole brand new career. A lot of soldiers still have to conduct civilian education or get some kind of education for their lives after the military. And while they're doing that, that still adds another layer of stress, and is also an expectation that the military has of their soldiers. On the note of a lot of our soldiers coming in fresh out of high school, well, as a result, a lot of them don't already have resiliency skills developed that are needed for a career in the military. And on top of that, even despite leaders trying to say that there isn't, there still is a stigma around us as soldiers actively seeking help, whether it be from our peers or professional counseling, as there still is this fear that if our fellow soldiers find out about it, that we'll be seen in a different or negative light. So overall, how can the Army actually improve? Well, as we mentioned back at the beginning, the biggest thing is we can increase the frequency of the military Mastering Resilience training program. The more often we do it, the more often and better suited it'll actually get into our soldiers' minds that they can actually remember it. With all of our new incoming soldiers, what we can do is actually start teaching them these skills before they actually enter the Army, whether it's at a resiliency camp specifically for it, or another military camp, or even if it's integrated into our already made Future Soldier program. If we can teach these skills before they even get in, For those that are already in, whenever a soldier gets in trouble, the best thing we can do is, instead of giving them this negative attitude of they are continuing to have trouble, so it's the end of the world, we can teach it that it's more of a learning curve and not the end. So in summary, we went over the purpose of MRT is to build more resilient soldiers. We went over the sources that causes stress, the keys, stress reduction, and outcomes associated with low resiliency. We covered the current effectiveness of the training and where it can be improved. Does anyone have any questions at this time? No? All right, well, I got some questions for you all. So what are some of the struggles that the Army imposes on soldiers that can cause additional stress? Yes?
So you think the struggle would be the pressure from leadership, lack of ability to have responsibility after hours, and unstable and passive and weak, a lack of developed resiliency skills, and stigma surrounding mental health.
Well, my next question. What can be done to fix the resiliency of your soldiers? Yes?
So